Greetings and welcome to my first ever top 10 video. I'm Jonathan, aka the Monkey Butler. Hope you guys are doing great today. And yes, this is my first top 10 video. And today I will be counting down my top 10 favourite Pokemon. I've seen a lot of YouTubers do it and I think it's fantastic. I think the choices are fantastic, so I wanted to give my own opinion on my favourites. How I'm going to set this out, I'm going to be referring to the experiences that I've had with the Pokemon, their moves, their stats, their design, and possibly even their origins. So, please do leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if of course you haven't already, and share it with your friends, and here is my top 10 favourite Pokemon. Number 10. Vaporeon. This Pokemon was certainly very difficult to decide on, as it was a toss-up between Umbreon and Vaporeon, with the latter taking the number 10 spot. I think Vaporeon's design is cool, as its origins is apparently based on a mermaid, and in its Pokemon Sun entry it reads as it's often mistaken for a mermaid, giving theory that there may have even existed somewhere at one point in the Pokemon world, either in legend or in myth. In addition to that, it can also melt away into water, giving it the perfect camouflage against predators that live in the waters, and I think that is just pretty damn awesome. I have used Vaporeon on a few occasions playing through Pokemon games, and I have to say it has been very useful. Its range of moves it can learn both defensively and offensively have been certainly helpful in a difficult situation. Coupled with its ability Water Absorb, it is very useful if you need to switch out a Pokemon which is weak to water types, so that way it can defuse the move and may even gain some HP in the process. That is pretty cool. In addition to all this, I also have a Vaporeon plushie which I got for Christmas this last year, and he sits nicely on my desk next to my other plushies. Oh yeah. Hang on. Where is he? There's supposed to be 4 of you, there's only 3 of you sat up there. I said yeah, you could all sit in on the video, but you'd have to be sat at the back, so where is he? Okay, well, why don't you just get in touch with him, find him please, because, you know, he needs to be in this video. He's going to be coming up soon. We need him in the video. Sorry about this everyone, we'll just need to find one of the missing plushies. He's gone for a bit of a walkabout. So we'll move swiftly on to the number 9 spot, shall we? Number 9. Toxapex. Sitting firmly at the number 9 spot on this list is Toxapex, the newest addition to my top 10 favourite Pokemon, and one that I've used quite a lot in my playthrough of Pokemon Moon. I got a Marini from Wonder Trade, as to get it normally you have to SOS hunt along with a Corsola. However, when you have one and evolve it into a Toxapex, it can be an absolute awesome Pokemon to use defensively. It has the highest base stat defense and special defense of any of the poison types that you can get in Pokemon, which certainly works well, especially with its design looking like a dome, something that protects others. Couple that with a move that it can learn called Baneful Bunker, where Toxapex won't take any damage, much like Detect or Protect, but if he is hit with a physical move, it poisons the target, which that is certainly an awesome feature to have for a Pokemon, especially a exclusive move to that Pokemon. This makes it something to be wary of going up against, as I think it is just a fantastic move for a great Pokemon. As it is a newer Pokemon, it doesn't rank higher, as I haven't used it really any further since my Pokemon Moon playthrough. However, I do think that if you are looking for a poison type to use on your team, I think that both combination of poison and water type is a good one to go about using, and I think Toxapex is probably your best option, as your other options are either Tentacruel or Quillfish, just to name a few. So, if you're looking to use a Pokemon either casually or competitive, I would certainly suggest Toxapex, based on my own opinions and how awesome it has been at using it. Number 8. Vikavolt. Yes, this cool bug/electric type is my 8th favourite Pokemon, and it also happens to be my 2nd favourite electric type. You'll find out my number 1 favourite electric type very soon. Also, I know I'm saying the name wrong by saying it's Vikavolt instead of Vikavolt, but I think it sounds a lot cooler saying Vikavolt. So, that's just my opinion on that as well. First off, the design of this Pokemon is cool, I don't think anyone can deny that. I mean, have you seen it shiny? It's got a cool metallic coat look with bright green tints on its back, around its eyes and the outside of its pincers. It certainly gives it that futuristic sort of look, and that makes it one of my favourite shiny Pokemon ever. Top that off with its high base special attack stat of 145, it can certainly be a force to reckon with. I just wish its speed was higher, because that is all the way down at 43. One of the coolest things in the new Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games is the collection of totem stickers, which if you can collect 70 of them, you can get a totem-sized Vikavolt, meaning that is pretty awesome and you can add that to your team. However, that is only if you are playing Ultra Sun. In Ultra Moon, you can get a token Maru, which, if you've played those games already, you know, my goodness, how annoying is that thing to fight against. I mean, even I had quite a lot of troubles playing that. But Vikavolt was certainly a better one to go up against, and Vikavolt is certainly a better one to have, and it is a great addition to any team. I have used Vikavolt quite a lot, both in my Pokemon Moon playthrough and my Ultra Sun playthrough, which I did use the Totem Vikavolt, and it has been quite the powerhouse with its good range of special attacks, and that gives it plenty of coverage against other Pokemon. So, Vikavolt is certainly one I would suggest having on your team, and that's why it's on this top 10 video, because it is just awesome. I can't put it any better than that, guys. Number 7. Garchomp. Now this one is the only dragon type on my top 10 list, but is by far and away my favourite dragon type Pokemon of all time. Since it was released back in Gen 4, I have used it a lot in all 3 of my Gen 4 games, Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, and a lot more recently in my Ultra Moon playthrough, which I'm still playing through at the moment. I think its design, it's awesome, giving that hammerhead shark look, which is probably why you give it the nickname Jaws. In addition to that, it is also a pseudo-legendary, meaning it has a base stat total of 600, with its highest being attack, which is at 130. With its range of physical attacks, it can learn, especially Earthquake or Dragon Claw, giving it that extra boost from it being stab moves. It is definitely one to watch for both in casual and competitive play, as it is certainly a danger to anyone's team. Mainly your opponent's team. If you've got it on your team, you should be okay. Couple that with the ability Sand Veil, which boosts its evasion, making it more difficult to hit in a sandstorm. So having Sandstorm as a move is certainly one that is very useful, and one I have personally used and have been successful in using on several occasions. Well, mainly in the casual play, because I kind of do suck at the competitive play, but nonetheless, it is something that is very useful. It's certainly one I would suggest using, and this is why Garchomp is one of the Pokemon on my top 10 list, because it is such an awesome Pokemon, well designed Pokemon to use, and I will carry on using it for as long as I would like to. So, yeah. Moving on. Number 6. Scizor. Now here is another bug type Pokemon, but certainly my favourite bug type, which was introduced back in Gen 2. Unfortunately, it is not one that I've used extensively apart from my Pokemon Gold playthrough, where I was very surprised by its evolution, which I wasn't expecting at all at the time, which you'll see here. Wait, I've got like 3 flying type Pokemon on my team. What? Another? What? I thought... Didn't... What? What? Oh my god! Holy crap! What? I thought it still needed the metal coat. I was fully expecting it needing the metal coat still. What the heck? Oh my... This episode... What is going on? Oh my god. What's it trying to learn? Metal Claw. Metal Claw. Yeah, of course. Yeah. In addition to that awesome moment, I think the design of Scizor is awesome as well, giving it a very sleek look, especially with the red coating as well. Plus the addition of it being a steel type gives it more access to different moves and also helps bolster its defensive base stat up to 100. Apart from the main series game, I've also been using Scizor in the Pokémon Tournament DX on the Nintendo Switch, and I have found that to be very useful as well. Although its origin does come from a mashup of Scissor and Razor, which is very straightforward and basic, I like how dangerous it sounds because of this, especially the fact that its base attack stat is 130, making it on par with Garchomp, and we all know how badass he is, so you definitely do not want to get hit by Scizor. Number 5. Noctowl. Another Gen 2 entry in this list, and certainly not the last, is the wise looking owl Noctowl. It is my favourite of the flying types that you can get at the start of a Pokemon game. Owls also happen to be my second favourite animal, followed closely behind turtles. Speaking of which, has he turned up yet? Because, you know, it is coming up really close to his spot now. He needs to get here as soon as... Well, look, come on. You've known him longer than any of the other ones, and, you know, you're like his best friend. Where is he? Come on, you don't know. Well, go find it. Still sitting there behind me. Why don't you just go find him? Because he needs to get back here, like, now. Go find him. All three of you can go find him if you want. Instead of just sitting there. No, you're just going to sit there. Fair enough then. Anyway, back to the video. It may not be strong in terms of stats, its highest being special defense, which is at 96. But it does give you early access to psychic moves. I mean, if it were up to me, Noctowl would be a flying psychic type instead of a normal flying, as it has a better type combination and it also works well with its special attack being higher than its physical attack. Plus, it's an owl. It's supposed to be wise looking, and that would be a perfect matchup if it was a psychic type. But that's just my opinion, and possibly other people's as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. On top of all this, it is one that I have used quite a lot in playthroughs of Pokemon Gold, Silver and Soul Silver, and also soon be using it again in Pokemon Crystal when it comes out, I believe, next week. Plus, it's an awesome shiny. I mean, I remember seeing it for the first time in the anime and being very confused about it at the time because it was a different colour, but it's certainly very cool with its gold body, and I do actually have one that I've got stored away on my Pokemon Ultra Moon, which I transfer all my previous data onto that one, so I do have a shiny Noctowl and it is awesome. So yeah, there's that as well. Pretty cool. Number 4. Tyranitar. Yes, another pseudo-legendary Pokemon, and it is my favourite out of all the pseudo-legendaries. Tyranitar is one that I haven't used much in playthroughs until very recently in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where you can get it pretty easily, I would say. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to use one in my Pokemon Gold playthrough or Silver playthrough because you have to wait until you get to Mount Silver to actually try and get one, which is very frustrating. However, in my Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it has been a very integral part of my team. It has been able to sweep quite a lot of the opponents that I've come across in the game, and with its high attack, base attack that is, of 134, which is higher than Garchomp's, I felt it deserves a lot more appreciation for this. Also, it is one of only 2 Pokemon that is a pseudo-legendary that is not a Dragon type, the other being Metagross. So, Tyranitar cool. Coolness factor of 11, right there. Also, I love the origins of Tyranitar, as it is partially based off Godzilla, which I aptly named it in my Pokemon Sun playthrough, and it also looks quite a lot like Godzilla in terms of its design. Also, this is one of the funniest things I saw when I was looking through to get some more information on this, and I had to include this. Its Mega Evolution is said also to be based off of Space Godzilla. As you can, I'll probably put a picture up here in the editing of it, just to show you a picture of Mega Tyranitar and Space Godzilla, because that is hilarious. Also, it can learn a range of different and powerful moves, which makes it even more awesome than it already is. So kudos to you, Tyranitar. Number 3. Hawlucha. Yes, Hawlucha. This little fighter has been especially useful and heavily used in my Pokemon Ultra Sun playthrough due to it being available very early on. I mean, you can get it as a trade Pokemon, which skyrocketed its leveling up very quickly. It remains to this day the highest level Pokemon I have used on a playthrough right through to the end. I can't remember the level it's at the moment, but it was pretty damn high. It was nearly like 80s into the 90s, and that was at that point when I was doing the like the Rainbow Rockets. Spoiler alert, by the way. I absolutely love the design of this Pokemon and its typing of fighting and flying type, as it certainly gives you good type coverage. You top that off with its signature move of Flying Press, which again is a both fighting and flying type. It works well against a lot of the opponents that you come across, and for all these reasons, that is why Hawlucha is so high on this list, and being the only Gen 6 Pokemon, it has given me a lot of respect for this Pokemon, and I thank it for all its help through Pokemon Ultra Sun, because without it I would have surely had a lot of difficulty playing through that game. So thank you, Hawlucha. Number 2. Ampharos. Now, Ampharos is certainly one of my favourite Pokemon, hence why it's on my number 2 spot on this list. I mean, originally it was supposed to be an electric / dragon type Pokemon, but they just kept it as electric, but then gave it the dragon typing when it gave its Mega Evolution and its 80s ballad hair. Now, the origins of Ampharos are pretty strange and cool as well. Ampharos itself is resembled as a sheared sheep because, as you're probably aware, its pre-evolutions, Mareep and Flaffy, are sheep, Mareep being one that's like unsheared, and Flaffy is one that's partially sheared, and it leads up to losing its wool with each evolution. Also, it shares traits with the Lighthouse. It is known as the Light Pokemon, and the name origins as well comes from Amp, meaning the electrical current, and Pharos, meaning Greek for lighthouse. One of the other strange things that I read up while researching Ampharos to include in this video in terms of its origin is the fact that its pre-evolutions have some reference to the science fiction novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And if you don't know, that became a film called Blade Runner. Or the film was based off the book anyway. Also, one of the coolest things that I've read about it is it was supposed to be originally a electric dragon type Pokemon because its slender body suggests that it could be like based off a Chinese dragon. However, that was changed, so it was just an electric type, but when it's got its Mega Evolution, it became an electric dragon type. And, you know, as we all know, dragon types are cool, so it's got that going for it as well. On top of all this, Ampharos, as I've already said, is a very cool Pokemon. Keeping it at just an electric type was a very good thing, because that way it's only got one weakness, which is ground type, and you can top that off as well because its attack stat base attack stat is at 115, and it can earn quite a good range of both physical attacks and also special attacks, making it a very worthwhile Pokemon to have on any team if you don't want to have Pikachu or anything like that. Sorry, Pikachu. So that is why quite a lot of reasons why I'm keeping Ampharos at my number 2 spot, because of its origins. It's certainly, as I already stated, it's a very cool Pokemon. It's one that I love and I'm going to keep using for as long as I can, and hopefully I can try and get one into Pokemon Crystal and play through it, and use that to play through it. Number 1. Yes, you guessed it, it's Squirtle. So, is he coming back? Is he back yet? Oh, and where have you been? Anyway, you're here now. Guess what? It's your turn. So, let's tell everyone why you're my number 1 favourite Pokemon of all time. Yeah, let's talk about that now that he's decided to turn up. Now, if you've seen previous videos, I've probably talked about Squirtle quite a bit. If I have, or if I haven't, I'm going to now. Squirtle here, not just this plushie, but mainly this plushie that I've got with me now, but Squirtle has been one that I've used in Pokemon so many times I've probably lost count. The ones that I can remember is the fact that I've used him in both Gen 1 and Gen 2 games, Gen 3 mainly being Fire Red Leaf Green, and of course more recently in Pokemon X and Y, where you can get that as a secondary starter, which I've probably got rid of my own starter from that game, a Gen 6 starter, and just swapped out with Squirtle. Now, the reason why Squirtle is number 1 on this list is more of an emotional reason rather than reasoning in terms of it being good in games. Granted, it can be good in games with its good coverage of what moves it can learn, especially in later generations. But more on an emotional level, I've had this particular Squirtle. Stay on screen. Come on, this is your turn now. Because Pokemon has been out for nearly 20 years in the UK, because I think it came out in 1999 here with the release of Pokemon Red and Blue. I've had Pokemon Blue since it first came out, and I still have it to this day. If you've seen my Instagram, chances are I've put pictures out of my original Pocket Game Boy that I've got, which is sat right over there on my desk. Hang on, I should just get it. Original Pocket Game Boy, along with quite worn Pokemon Blue game. And with it, stick on the screen, and with it, probably around the same time as, if I can remember rightly, I got this Squirtle. Squirtle has been an absolute joy to have. He's been with me and supported me more on an emotional level than I can possibly think of. With him being around me within the last 19-20 years, he has seen a lot of wear and tear. As you can probably tell, his eyes a bit funny there. His tail no longer sticks to his back, to his shell, but Squirtle, for me, is my favourite Pokemon because he has been with me through all these years. And I don't think there's a better reason as to why he shouldn't be my favourite Pokemon. I've had a lot of problems in my life, I know. Don't know why I'm going off a bit off track here, but Squirtle has always been there. He's always been some form of comfort to me, and I can't thank him enough. I intend to keep him for as long as I can, and I think that's all I need to say about it. So yeah, that's why Squirtle is my number 1 all-time favourite Pokemon, because he has always been there for me, and I know he always will be. So, there it is. That is my top 10 favourite Pokemon. I want to thank you guys as well as my plushies for being in this video. So I'll get back over here. And I just want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, of course, please do leave a like down below, of course. Subscribe to the channel, of course, if you haven't already. And share this with your friends. I want to get this out as much as I can. And hopefully, if this video goes well, I certainly want to do more top 10 videos. So, after all that, again, thank you guys so much. And stay tuned, guys.